This week there's a leaked memo from the French Ministry of Health that's landed like a thunderclap across Europe. The letter that revealed in the French press has instructed hospitals to prepare for a major military engagement by March 2026. I talked about this last week. It didn't speak in generalities. It spoke of tens of thousands of wounded men, of hospital beds filled up for 6 months, of medical staging posts by ports and airports. In short, France is being asked to imagine itself as the rear base of a European war. The significance cannot be overstated. Only weeks ago, the story making headlines was of tents being prepared for displaced civilians in the event of mass emergencies. Now hospitals are being told to ready themselves for waves of injured soldiers. Both these stories reflect a continental unease that the war in Ukraine may not remain neatly contained to the Donbass or the steppes around Kharkiv. The health minister, Catherine Vautrin, has tried to soften the blow. She said there was nothing more than prudent preparation, like strategic stockpiles, like epidemics. She reminded her audience of the failings during COVID-19. Better to be ready, she argued, than once again be caught unawares. That line may reassure some, but the language of the letter, high-intensity conflict, major engagement, belongs less to health bureaucracy and more to the vocabulary of general staffs. This is not just about hospitals. It's about the wider recognition now emerging in Paris, Berlin and beyond that Europe itself could become the battlefield. Macron has doubled French defence budgets by 2027. Germany's general staff have warned that NATO must be on guard during the Zapad 2025 exercises in case Russia uses drills as a cover for something worse. NATO's new chief, Mark Rutte, goes further. He speaks of the real risk of a combined Russian and Chinese assault triggering a third world war. So the memo is a symptom of something bigger, a Europe shredding and shedding its illusions of peace. For years we've congratulated ourselves that wars happen elsewhere, in the Balkans in the 1990s, the deserts of Iraq, the mountains of Afghanistan. Ukraine shattered that complacency, but we still prefer to think of it as their war. France's letter suggests it may soon be our war. It's also a reminder that modern conflict is not only fought on the front lines. Hospitals are the hidden front. They are where political decisions about resources and priorities are made flesh. To prepare to treat 10,000 to 50,000 casualties is to acknowledge tacitly the scale of destruction contemporary war could unleash. Behind every bed, every saline drip, every compress lies the sobering truth. War kills and maims, and it does so in numbers that overwhelm even advanced health systems. What we see herein is a European shift towards civil-military fusion. Survival guides are being posted through letterboxes. Citizens are being told to stockpile water, food, torches, batteries and paracetamol. Hospitals are drafted into contingency planning. Defence spending soars. The line between civilian and military readiness is blurring. Some will dismiss this as alarmism, even political theatre, a government hedging against worst-case scenarios, but history suggests that nations do not circulate such letters lightly. In 1938, British hospitals quietly began to prepare for air raids. By 1940, those preparations proved prescient. We must now be careful not to exaggerate. The leaked memo doesn't mean war is inevitable. It means France, like Germany and NATO, is hedging against a possibility it once thought unthinkable. But the fact that governments are now openly preparing for citizens to face the spectre of European conflict shows how profoundly the landscape has changed since Russia invaded Ukraine. The tents, the survival guides, the hospital memos, each of these is a candle flickering in the same darkening wind. Europe has entered a new age of insecurity, one where war is no longer a metaphor, no longer a news story, but a contingency for which we must prepare beds, bandages and bodies. And so we face a simple, stark question. Is this prudent preparation or the slow acceptance that Europe is once again sleepwalking towards catastrophe? The memo from Paris doesn't answer it, but it forces us to ask it. That alarming question. Are we prepared? Might this happen?